My name is Beth Hiley here for Board Game Geek at Essentag in 2012. I'm sitting here with Enoch and Jacob of Fricks Games, who are showing us their new published version of Wilderness, even though you did have a copy here, a very special copy here last year. Just mention that before we talk about the new version.
Well, as most of our games, we develop them as hobby projects. So we had a very expensive handmade edition of this.
Beautiful.
And it got very good feedback last year.
So
we worked on it.
How many copies did you have last year?
We have like 15,
Yeah,
12
I
or
was going to
15.
say that was 12, yeah.
12, yeah. And very expensive. But we worked on the feedback, and here we are back with the printed version.
Ta-da!
So maybe someone will recognize it. Well, the basic concept of this game is about survival. You've been lost somewhere in the wilderness, and you have to survive and find a way back to the village on the other end.
This is right here, right at my end here.
So it's a board full of surprises, and it's a game where you're discovering the landscape little by little. So right at the start, me and my opponent Jacob, we're standing with our players at the corner. At the corner of the board. Also on the first landscape we have revealed a wolfie, and the part of the game is to stay away from the wild animals because they will attack you and they're nasty in this game. So the basic concept of these games is that you use energy points to make up your move, and every turn you can customize. So right at the start of my turn, I check my exhaustion level and I read out how much energy I have to spend. Like I start out with 6 energy that I can spend either on moving through the terrain, or maybe I want to rest, find some water to drink, or search for food. And it's certainly you have some alternatives in your cards that you can also spend your energy on. So what could I do? Right at the start I have 6 energy. I want to move ahead, maybe avoid the wolf. So I go 2 energy through the open grassland. I go 3 more energy into the woods. And I'm pretty much done. If I don't have any cards that will allow me to use just 1 energy, there's some cards that could allow you to do that. And so I check what I have. What I also have to help me during a turn is the events cards.
Pause for 1 second. At least this year we don't have forklifts. All last year we had this beep, beep, beep of forklifts because they were coming around behind. Although, this year we have a car. All right. All right, continue.
Okay. In this game, you keep track of time with the weather cards, as shown here.
So we got 1 sample card here off the top of the deck.
Yes, just 1 sample. All the days are different with different weathers that will change the circumstances of that day. So you have to adjust your strategy to what kind of weather it is, in what condition you are yourself, what the landscape looks like, and of course what kind of options you have in your cards.
Now, do you know the weather before you begin spending your various points, or do you find that out at the end?
Yeah. At the start of each day, you draw a new weather card. So this will represent the first hours of the new day. And so I read, and so also always an effect that I have to keep track on during that day. And when all of us are done with our turns,
nature's turn.
It comes to nature's turn. So like me and Jacob has moved through the terrain.
And I'll put nature's turn there in the middle.
Yeah, so we have references on the board.
Yeah. And when it comes to nature's turn, all the players, they will increase their thirst and hunger 1 step. So as time moves along, you will get thirsty and hungrier, of course. And also, you will move your exhaustion 1 step, plus any penalty you might have on your thirst and your exhaustion.
So if you were further on in this thirst track, when it starts saying 1 in each box,
It will
it'd be
give you
an
extra on your an exhaustion track.
And understandably, I'm guessing as you get more exhausted, you have less and less points to do things with. And I'm guessing if you get to the big skull at the end, you're dead.
It means it's not good.
So this can be an elimination game. You
This can be
knocked
an
out.
elimination game, and because it's a game about survival.
Hey, it makes sense, you know?
Yeah, it makes sense. And hopefully it will not get to elimination until we're very far gone in the game. And maybe where we have a winner already. Yeah, staked out. But anyway, you move the animals, and the animals, they will target any player that's close to them. But if they're not, we will use the spinner.
Ah, a
Yeah.
spinner! Yes!
To randomize the movement. In this case, he will move there, but he was not allowed to go into
so-
uncharted ground.
You can't fall off the edge of the world.
No.
There might be a lake there.
And the last thing you do is that you move the sun marker on the weather card. So that would represent like the noontime.
Okay.
And then we do another round of turns, and so the game progresses.
So I'm guessing on that one weather card that the 4 boxes, the light colored boxes are all the daytime.
Yeah.
And the 2 dark boxes are the nighttime.
And at the night time, you have to be aware of what time it is on the day, because when it's night, it's a high risk you will get lost if you try to move. And at the same time, the animals will move as usual, so you can get trapped with an animal, which is not good. Also, you cannot find any food in the night, which means that you should get yourself set up in a nice place before the darkness comes.
Now let's walk through what happens if an animal does run into you. What would that look like? An animal attack.
Well, let's say it's Jacob. Thank you, Jacob, for sacrificing yourself. When it comes to nature's turn and it's time for animals to move, he has a target. So he will sniff Jacob up. And Jacob, he's stripped down, as you see here, drinking some water or whatever it is. So the game, he will move in for an attack. Well, the animals, they attack with 2 dice, and then we add the sum together, like 7 in this case. Now Jacob is defending himself with 1 die, but he also has 7. So that would mean a
7
difference
versus-
of 6 points.
Okay.
And that will go straight into his exhaustion. Now, so it's pretty rough to face an animal, but a lot of the cards in the game is for adjusting these kind of battles, which means if you have a primitive spear, or maybe you can grab some sticks and stones in a fight, you'll have a better chance to manage. So it's part of the strategy to use your cards in a good way.
And actually, I had a card that might have helped me if the fight had been here. Because then I could have moved the animal back to the lair instead of having it charging me.
Aha.
But I was stupid enough to move next to the lair.
Yeah, very stupid. He often he loses
The
the
lair
games.
being the start spot with its picture on there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking. Most of these events do have 2 properties to them.
Yeah.
Or can you only use them for one or the other? I'm guessing once
Yeah.
this is used, it's then expended
Exactly.
and discarded. Yeah.
So that means that the game, you always have the one strategic choice. Would you want to play the nice effect at the top that will help you, or the ugly effect in the bottom that will thwart someone else? So what is Wilderness basically? It's a game with a lot of surprises. You don't know what's facing you. You don't know what cards will go up, what kind of sicknesses
Oh, dear.
you might
Burning
run
fever.
into, and you don't know where the animals might be heading.
Yeah.
And but on the other hand, and you don't know what kind of weather will be facing you. On the other hand, this gives you a lot of strategic choices. And in Wilderness, you have to manage your situation. You can get thrown into many kinds of situations, and you have to manage. You have your cards, you have your energy, and you
When
can.
it looks as though there's more landscape tiles than you use in a game, so you have some variability from game to game as well, I'm guessing.
Well, every time in the game when you reach the edge of the board, you will reveal a new part of the board. But it's also true that Wilderness is a very customizable game, because you can choose the length by choosing how many,
Literally, the length.
the length of the game. Like a short game would only consist of 4 landscape tiles. for a short game. That could take
Definitely looks more
like
manageable.
one hour or something. If you're unexperienced and try the normal length game like this, it could take 1.5, 2 hours if you have time to play that. And you can also play the marathon using all 8.
All the way down the end
all
of
8.
the table. And I'm guessing you don't start with any more thirst, hunger, or exhaustion. You just have to survive that much longer.
Yes, yes.
So one would hope you get better as you.
So, Wilderness is a game where you can play 2 to 8 players, and you can play with 4 to 8. So you can very much decide the length of the game for yourself.
Oh, and how many players you have too.
Yeah.
What would you say an average game would take if we were sort of at the medium level here? You know, like 4-player game. How long do you think it?
I say 1.5 hours.
All right, so some nice medium amount of time to get lost in the wilderness.
Yeah.
It depends. If they are all experienced, it's more like 40 minutes.
Yeah. 'cause you
If
can-
all have played
More
it
or
before.
less.
Right, and I imagine you get familiar with the cards too. Now, I'm noticing that a lot of your language support is in German and English. Is the game that's being sold here at the fair supported in both languages? Or?
Yes, we have our games is printed in English, and we have German rules for sale, and also they're available for download for free
nice.
from a website, and in many more languages as well
And
as
I'm sure
Spanish and French.
Have you posted that on BGG as well? If you haven't, I encourage you to do so.
we are very active on the board game.
There you go.
Yes.
All right, so last question. Now, is this going to be sold directly in the United States?
This game is provided through Alliance Games Distribution.
Excellent. Any idea when it's going to hit the United States?
It's been a little delayed, but it's on its way right now.
All right, one of many games, I'm sure, literally on the boat.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you so much for showing us Wilderness.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.